Hello everyone, it's Puffalope back with another Dead by Daylight video. That's what I do. That's every video I make. Today I'll be complaining about the Dredge again, as if you guys haven't heard enough of that. But I'll also be saying some good things about the Wesker. It's not the Wesker though. It's the mastermind. The mastermind. Yeah, that guy. I love him. Okay, I understand that I have a whole lot more in common with the brick wall than the Wesker does with the Dredge. That's just because I have a whole lot in common with brick walls. But at the end of the day, even though they're different killers that play with different mechanics, they're still killers in the same game, and they still have to play by the same rules. I believe that this is a fair comparison. Also, Dead by Daylight is a competitive game. People love getting lost on this term. Anything that offers you the possibility to be better than another person at is competitive. By nature. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to play the game competitively every time you play, just like you can play Yasuo support in a normal League of Legends game, but that doesn't make the game not competitive. It just means that you're not playing a competitive game competitively. Okay, so to understand why I think one is so much better than the other, you have to understand a few core problems I have with this game's recent killer designs. Recently, it seems like Dead by Daylight is just releasing killers for the sake of it. They're not really putting much thought into the killer designs that they're making and the mechanics that they're gonna use, and it seems like the only thing that comes to mind whenever they're creating a killer is how unbearable for survivors can we make this killer be. From incredibly uncreative anti-loops to fucking vision impairment mechanics that make your screen black for 50 minutes. Ever since Sadako was released, I've been dreading the new killer releases because I unfortunately know that they're gonna make the game worse. But then the mastermind came in and restored my hope in this game, and I really hope that my hope is rightly placed this time, because he really came in and showed everyone that BHVR can still make good killers if they put their minds to it. This is a killer that lacks every single annoying mechanic that they have been releasing so far, and I want to compare it to the worst killer release that they have ever made, the Dredge. Okay everyone, now repeat after me, okay? Vision impairment mechanics are not good. No one likes them. No one likes Plague's Puke covering half my screen for the entire game. You know, that green ass shit all over my screen? I don't like that. No one does. No one likes being completely blind when they're in deep wound. Definitely nobody likes clown bottles. And I hate Nightfall. DBD is kind of a horror game. Playing this game for the first time feels a little scary, but that's not even close to being the main reason most people play this game. I even argue that Shirtless David King is a bigger reason than horror to play this game, but I could be wrong. I'm writing this at 5 AM because I can't sleep and I have no research on what I'm currently saying, but trust me, okay, Blake. If DBD was a jump scare PewDiePie compilation kind of game, Nightfall would be cool. But it's not, okay? DBD is a competitive game where a real person is playing the killer and real people are playing survivor. The killer has to hit you twice, down you, then bring you over to the hook, to then hit you on hook and call you a retard noob on post-game chat, but we can ignore that. Making my screen completely black doesn't scare me. It frustrates me. It makes me lose all sense of direction. I can't see the game. Yes, I can still loop the killer during Nightfall. That's what most people say, and they argue that that's if you can't loop the killer, then it doesn't really matter. That's not the problem. The problem is that it just pisses me off, man. I want to see the game. I want to know if I'm headed straight to a fucking wall in the corner of the map or if I'm actually getting somewhere. Nightfall is not a good mechanic for the game. I don't see how this is a good mechanic to have in any game whatsoever, let alone Dead by Daylight. Now, there's a whole discussion right there, and I bet a lot of people disagree with me on that one, and that's okay, but I would love to see someone that's not a killer main explain to me why not being able to see in a competitive game is fun or balanced or not frustrating at least. So, did you notice that what annoys me the most about the Dredge is an annoying mechanic, not a particularly strong, overpowered one, right? That's because I have no problems with the killer being strong. I like playing against strong killers because, well, I'd like the challenge. Want to know a strong killer that I like going against? Wesker is the definition, is a textbook definition of a strong killer in this game. He has insane mobility with his power, anti-loop with his power, insta downs, insta pickups even, but absolutely no vision impairments. Even the infection that's similar to Plague is very mild and easy on your screen. It's almost like they noticed how annoying the biggest blue stuff was on your screen when you got infected by the nemesis, and they toned it down a little bit. I would rather face 20 nurses in a row and lose every single one of these games than face a singular clown that makes my screen blurry and makes me cough and scream and keeps laughing whenever he hits me. It's just annoying, man. I want to be able to see the game and have a chance to outplay the killer mechanically. I don't want to feel powerless because the killer is just making me blind. I want to have some gameplay, you know? Even Wesker's anti-loop is way more creative than the Dredge's. I'd argue that Wesker's anti-loop is way stronger than the Dredge's, but I hate the way that they did the Dredge, and I love the way that they did Wesker. Dredge forces you to move away from the loop. If you stay there against a competent Dredge when he sets up the teleport, you are going to die. There's no back and forth. There's no skill expression. It's a little ball thing that you can't even mind game most of the time. And by the way, Dredge can still build up bloodlust when he's holding the teleport. So he can literally hold you hostage there while holding the teleport and then kill you with bloodlust. Wesker, on the other hand, doesn't force you to leave the loop. He forces you to be smart and not drop the pallet too early. Maybe you try to mind game and get a stun, but if he respects the pallet, he's gonna vault it and hit you immediately after. On long loops, you gotta be extra careful, because he can dash and fucking throw you into a wall and smash your head in. It's fun. You are alive, you are seeing, you are playing the game. You see the difference here? Dredge's anti-loop is strong, but it's not as strong as Wesker's. But the reason I hate Dredge's anti-loop so much is because there's no back and forth. There's no gameplay. And if you take too long in a loop, you're gonna go into nightfall, and then you're gonna be completely blind, and he's also gonna have teleports. Like, dude, about that, Dredge also has a teleport mechanic, which is fucked, but I can't compare it to anything in Wesker's kit, so I'm gonna leave it out. But just know, I hate it because it encourages hitting and running, and that is the single most unfun playstyle to face. If you're interested in hearing me talk more about how much I hate the Dredge, I have a whole video titled I Hate the Dredge. But I go more in depth about the reason I hate the Dredge so much in that video. To sum it all up, the reason I hate the Dredge and like Wesker so much is because the Dredge, there's no gameplay against him. You have to run away from pallets and loops because he's gonna set up teleports there. There's no back and forth. You are blind half of the game. You can't even see what you're doing. You run into walls all the time. There is no skill expression. The Dredge doesn't have to be good. He's the most brain dead killer in the game. He gets stuff for doing nothing. He gains bloodlust for holding the teleport, so he's not being skillful at all. He's not mind gaming the loop. He's just running in circles and getting bloodlust while you can't even go to the teleport, because if you go there you die. And he's also a hit and run killer, so it's just dumb. Wesker, on the other hand, you have to be consistently using your brain to play against him. When Wesker's chasing you, you have to be smart about what you're doing with the pallet. If you drop it too early, he's gonna vault the pallet and hit you. If you drop it too late, then, well, you get hit. You have to get the stun. You have to fake drop the pallet. The killer has to be smart too, because if he gets stunned, well, then he's just a stunned killer that can't do anything. But if he respects the pallet, just like the Nemesis, he'll get a hit for free. That's what this game needs. Gameplay. It's a game. We want to play it. We don't want to be blind half the game. We don't want to have to run away from loops instantly. We want to play. You know, that's the main point here. And that's it. All in all, I'm just happy. I'm just overall happy that they made a killer this well after that big wave of weird, shitty killer designs. So yeah, I'm happy. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys are ready to go type your opinion in my comment section and call me a dumbass for having mine. I hope you go on a fucking 5-month discussion on how survivors benefit from vision impairments the most. That was so dumb, by the way. I hope you guys never read that discussion I had with this guy, because he was just not budging, man. He had his opinion. No one could change that. Yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Peace. Woof.